CTV News with Caroline Van Vlartigan.
Good evening. A woman is in critical condition tonight after she was stabbed in Cabot Square downtown this evening. The woman was allegedly attacked by another woman during a verbal dispute at around 6:30 this evening. The other woman, who is 26, was arrested on the scene. There's no word on the age of the victim or what prompted their altercation. Some residents of Longueuil have been ordered to shelter in place tonight due to a fire in the St. Hubert borough. The notice to shelter was for a group of streets near an industrial building that stored metal in barrels. The barrels caught fire just around 4:30 this afternoon on Ramsey Street, and residents were asked to stay indoors and keep their doors and windows closed and turn off their air exchangers. So far, officials believe there is no immediate danger to the public. A 75-year-old woman has died after she was hit by a car last week in Mercier-Hochelaga Maisonneuve borough. The woman was hit at the corner of Hague and Sherbrooke Streets on May 20th, and an 18-year-old female driver was turning from Hague to Sherbrooke when she struck the woman. She died 2 days later in hospital, but police were only made aware today. The investigation is still ongoing. CTV News has learned that former cabinet minister and Montreal MP Stephen Guilbeault will be quitting politics after a disagreement with the Carney government over its environmental issues or policies. The former environment minister and most recently culture minister will make the announcement tomorrow. Guilbeault plans to resign his seat as MP for the downtown riding of Laurier-Saint-Marie at the end of the summer. In Guilbeault's riding, voters said they're supporting his decision to quit.
I respect Stephen Guilbeault for quitting for policy reasons. I think any political change based on substantive policy reasons is a commendable one.
S'il a une conviction avec lui-même qu'il n'est pas d'accord avec le gouvernement, pourquoi pas?
And Guilbeault's departure means there will be two by-elections in Montreal ridings, Guilbeault's and the NDP's Alexandre Boulouris's, who is quitting to join provincial politics. Christine Fréchette faced her first real criticism by opposition parties today. Yesterday, the Premier announced she was offering Quebecers tax relief on groceries. Well, today, those parties accused her of trying to buy votes. Here's Matt Grillo.
Just one day after announcing several measures to help with the cost of living, the Premier was already on the defensive. I won't apologize for helping Quebecers, Fréchette said. On Tuesday, opposition parties criticized the Premier, accusing her of buying votes.
It's directly tied to the desire of Christine Fréchette to be re-elected. As simple as that. There is no other way to look at this.
Fréchette announced the removal of the Quebec sales tax on certain food and hygiene products, a measure that will save an average couple with 2 children about $50 a year. Reduced car registration fees will save another $50, and a one-time payment of $100 or $200 will be made to low and middle-income earners.
It's not enough. It's electoral gifts that Madame Christine Fréchette is doing, and it's costing a lot of money for the public finance.
The CAQ says it's a responsible move because it puts money in people's pockets.
I think it's very important to put the money where the needs are. It's more important to help the people that are facing this increasing of the cost of living instead of taking that money for a referendum.
Québec Solidaire says more should be done to help tenants.
They are receiving now from the measure of Christine Fréchette maybe $50 or $100 per year. It's nothing when they are receiving a very big increase of their rent.
The Premier also confirmed in French media that an investigation is underway to figure out how an email from her finance minister was leaked. In the email, Éric Girard expressed concern over Fréchette's spending.
Obviously, it's a sign that something is not well within the CAQ.
C'est quoi ça?
Ça? C'est du changement.
The PQ took out this advertisement saying the CAQ hasn't changed despite having a new leader.
Ce gouvernement Legault-Fréchette a bel et bien un bilan de gaspillage des fonds publics.
PQ leader Paul Saint-Pierre Plamondon says the CAQ has a track record of wasteful spending. And with just 3 weeks left in the parliamentary session, it's clear political parties are prepared for what could be an intense and tight fall election. Matt Grillo, CTV News, Quebec City.
Well, it seems that getting a first new home is increasingly out of reach for many Montrealers. Realtors say in order to buy a house now in Montreal, people need a household income of at least $128,000 per year. Here's Angela McKenzie.
On the island of Montreal, housing prices remain high. Realtor Marc-André Martel says it can be tough for first-time homebuyers to get in the market.
The frustration stems from the fact that even though their buying power is diminishing, even though it's diminishing slightly, prices of properties haven't diminished yet. You know, like the median price for condos remain at 0% fluctuation so far for this year.
According to a report by mortgage brokerage firm RateHub.ca, you need at least $128,000 gross annual household salary to purchase a property in Montreal. That's a $650 difference from March to April, an extra $240 in mortgage payments per year. RateHub's data in this scenario is based on a 10% down payment with a 25-year amortization, $4,000 in annual property taxes, and $150 a month in heating costs. It also took the stress test and interest rates into account. In April, the average price of a home in Montreal was around $594,000. But housing prices aren't the only problem, says RateHub's Philippe Simard.
It's really related to the interest rate going up a little bit, because at the beginning of the year, we got a rate around 3.59, and now we are at the low 4.
Martel says first-time home buyers often put the minimum down payment and have little wiggle room.
They'll buy at the max amount. And so if the rate fluctuates by 0.5%, that might mean, you know, $20,000 that they would have less to buy a property with.
And with so much uncertainty over the war in the Middle East, he says some buyers feel nervous about rates going up in the future. For some, looking outside of Montreal or buying a condo could make all the difference.
Sometimes it's just a mindset shift to not have all the boxes checked, but at least you get to buy a property and get into the market.
Meantime, out of the 12 Canadian cities studied, Montreal ranks 10th for affordability.
We are not that bad if we compare to Ottawa, Victoria.
A small silver lining for wannabe homeowners in Montreal. Angela McKenzie, CTV News.
Quebec has plans to increase the number of mobile photo radar devices. Today, the Transport Ministry announced it will add 66 new mobile photo radars to control speed in school zones and around work zones. The contract is for $43 million and also covers their maintenance for a decade. The plan is to gradually have 250 photo radars across the province and put them in places where they can be most effective.
And I know some people would like to have them everywhere. However, let's not forget, they're not a panacea. They're not going to fix all the problems. They're there as a complementary tool to put in areas where it could be hard to do, you know, traditional radar, or where there could be a lot of collisions. And the list of criterias, year after year, you have to look it over. Let's say you deploy 66 of them this year. And after a year or 2 years, you look at the statistics, and the accidents haven't gone down or the speed hasn't gone down. That means that it was not put in the proper place.
Quebec first began using photo radar in 2009. Well, for the past 4 summers, part of Saint-Denis has turned into a pedestrian mall, but that's not the case this year, and that has some merchants upset. Laurence Buisson-Dubreuil explains.
Summer in Montreal usually means one thing on Saint-Denis Street, packed terraces. But this year they'll have to share the road with cars. At Le Psy, co-owner Jean-Yves Masse fears his terrace could take a hit.
I think that the tourists will go on this street instead of our street. It's really a problem for us.
Down the street, Pizzeria de Campari manager Francesco Scavella says customers have come to expect a car-free experience.
It's always been closed for 3 months straight, and I've always liked it for the terrace. It makes it more relaxing for customers. They don't hear cars or honking, or you know what I mean? It's a quiet street.
But not every merchant is against the plan. Some say keeping the street open will make deliveries easier. And for Victor Bocco of Café Gitana, it's a plus for his clients.
Most of my customers are more elderly, so they mostly come by car. So having the streets closed doesn't help out.
In a statement to CTV News, a spokesperson for the mayor's cabinet says major construction around Berry-UQAM Metro makes it necessary to keep an emergency corridor open, adding that Saint-Denis is a direct route for ambulances transporting patients to the CHUM. Still, some summer events are moving ahead. The borough's Merchants Association will keep funding normally used for pedestrianization, meaning festivals and performances will still take over parts of the street.
They'll be performing either on terraces, either on the sidewalk.
Julien Vaillancourt La Liberté leads the SDC Quartier Latin. He says he understands the city's reasoning, but believes better coordination could have avoided some last-minute frustration.
The communication and collaboration between the city, between STM and between the borough wasn't exactly perfect. Every week there was something different.
While Saint-Denis and Castelnau won't go car-free this summer, there are still 7 streets close to traffic. Laurence Brisson-Dubreuil, CTV News.
Montreal's population is aging and expected to get smaller. The Montreal metropolitan community says a falling in the birth rate and cuts to immigration mean that the city and surrounding area could lose more than 1% of the population over the next 15 years. That also means fewer working adults, and officials say that will make it difficult to pay for the services that will be needed by an older population. And a new report suggests burnout is leading to major losses in productivity across Canada. The report by Manulife says fatigue, stress, and burnout are affecting employees' ability to work, and says burnout is responsible for a loss in productivity equivalent to 46 working days per employee every year. Also, nearly 6 in 10 workers say mental health challenges affect their ability to do their jobs. Well, the Montreal Victoire were at Montreal City Hall this morning to sign the Golden Book. The mayors of Montreal and Laval were there to welcome the team, and the coach and the captain of the team thanked everyone who supported them.
We're so very proud as a team to be able to share that with you, to be able to tell you that our story ended up in triumph, and a championship team is never remembered just for the win. It's remembered by the people who were able to achieve something together as a collective and as a group. And I couldn't be more proud to stand up here and share this extremely important team that we've had all year as a group. They did it for each other, and they did it for the city of Montreal.
To be standing here to represent our team is truly an honor. It's a privilege. We worked so hard all year to be able to bring that Walter Cup, and we did it. We did it for ourselves, we did it for the city, we did it for the whole country, but we're truly proud to be able to share that with you, and for that, on Saturday, we'll be able to bring it together.
And there will be a parade and celebrations at Place des Spectacles this Saturday at 11 a.m., and all are welcome. Well, 3 Canadians played their first round matches at Roland Garros today, and 2 made it through.
That'll do it.
19-year-old Victoria Mboko made it through in straight sets over Czech player Nikola Bertunkova. On the men's side, Denis Shapovalov was out in the first round, losing in straight sets to Jamie Farry of Portugal. And Felix Auger-Aliassime battled more than 4 hours to beat Germany's Daniel Altmaier in a 5th set tiebreak. Still to come, what's in a new name for an anti-radicalization center in Montreal?
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
Increasing number of abandoned buildings.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. CTVMontreal.ca, your home for news.
Montreal's Centre for the Prevention of Radicalization Leading to Violence is being renamed. It will henceforth be known as Ville Sans Violence. And joining me now is the Strategic and Scientific Director of Ville Sans Violence, Dave Poitras. Thank you for joining us, Monsieur Poitras.
Thank you for having me.
So if memory serves, the center is now a decade old. It was founded in 2015. Remind us again, why was it created in the first place?
Yeah, the center was created in 2015 in the aftermath of a terrorist attack in Ottawa against Parliament Hill, also another attack that happened in Saint-Jean-sur-Richelieu. We also had many students, college students, leaving to fight alongside the Islamic State in Syria. So the center was created in this aftermath where people were scared, where people had were anxious regarding this phenomenon of radicalization leading to violence. So the center was created to answer the worries that people had, to have someone to talk to regarding the anxiety and whether people should be anxious about what they were hearing regarding their children, regarding students that they had in class. So the line were opened so that we could have someone to talk to and to create a dialogue with their children and with their students.
And this fear that you're describing, Monsieur Poitras, this wasn't isolated just to Montreal, right? It was everywhere. But are there other centers like this around the world?
In Canada, we actually do have some other centers that are tackling those extremist issues. But in Canada, the center was one of the first ones to be born in 2015. So in the following years, we had another one that opened in Alberta called the OPV. It's the Organization for the Prevention of Violence. They also have a program. It's called Program Evolve in tackling extremist violence issues. They also have John Howard Society also opened their doors with a program called Reset, tackling some of the same issues. But what is unique about the center, or Ville Sans Violence as we call it now, is that we have 3 branches in our program, in our center. We have, of course, caseworkers that are tackling these issues, that are receiving the calls for parents that are worried, but we also have a team dedicated to education. So we are doing webinars to raise awareness amongst those issues. We also have teams that are going into schools to talk about those issues, to raise awareness and to also make sure that people are aware of some of these issues. But we also have a research team dedicated to do original research on extremist violence so that we can translate those results into practical tools for or other services.
And I imagine it's a constantly changing thing, right? There's different threats, there's new groups popping up. And you say you carry out about 1,200 interventions a year online and in person. Can you just give us a sense of some of them, the ones that you have actually targeted or faced?
Yeah, of course, the face of radicalization leading to violence has evolved over the past 10 years. 10 years ago, of course, as I said, we talked a lot about the Islamic State. Nowadays, it's much more diversified, the types of calls that we receive. A lot of calls are regarding gender-based violence, misogynistic views or discourses. We also have a lot of people calling us regarding different the adherence to complotist theories. So the image of the issues that we are tackling has evolved seriously over the past 10 years. And some of the people that are calling us nowadays, for example, are teachers that have a student in class raising some misogynistic views or discourses, and some of teachers are calling us to ask us, is this something that I should be worried about? If it is, how should I handle it? Should I come back to it, or should I just rug it under the carpet? So those are the different types of issues that we come up, that we do have every day in our calls.
Well, it sounds like you have your work cut out for you still, despite the name change, Ville Sans Violence. It seems like there's an awful lot of branches and things that you have to be tackling all at once, and we really appreciate you explaining it all to us again tonight, reminding people that this exists and that it's there to help us all live together better. Thank you so much, Monsieur Poitras, and good luck with the name change.
Thank you.
And still to come, a competition of the best to play with the best.
Menswear provided by Ernest. Elevate your style with Ernest. For breaking news and local news that matters to you, download the CTV News app right now by scanning the QR code on your screen using your smartphone. Or you can also go to our website, ctvnewsmontreal.ca. Weather brought to you by Gratian Scaff's 50th anniversary gift event. Get a complete second pair and sunglasses as a gift.
Well, it was certainly hot and humid today, and we're expecting more of that tomorrow, but not as above average as we saw today. Certainly, when we look at our almanac, we can see 29 degrees was today's daytime high, feeling like 32 at times. Certainly warmer than the seasonal 21, but nowhere near the record that was set in 2010, 34.7 degrees. It was a scorcher on this day in 2010. Now here's what we're forecasting overnight. Partly cloudy skies, and there is a 30% chance of showers, but that is looking like the system is east of Montreal. They are in the vicinity, however, that 30% chance is something to pass on to you all. Into the early morning hours, we start the day off with mostly sunny skies. However, into the afternoon, we do see a few clouds build in, calling for a mix of sun and clouds, but sunshine is definitely in our forecast. Into the evening, we do see increasing clouds, and then into the early morning hours, we hold on to those cloudy skies for Thursday, and that is going to be our forecast on Thursday. Cloudy skies. Now tonight it will be on the warmer side, looking at a low of 16 degrees. We have a wake-up temperature of 17, expecting to hit a daytime high of 23, feeling like 26 tomorrow, and no wind gusts to speak of at this time. Looking at our longer range forecast, we do see a dip in our temperatures Thursday, 19 degrees, 18 on Friday, calling for 3 millimeters of showers in the afternoon, an additional 1 millimeter on Saturday morning with a high of 16, and then the temperatures rebound this time next week, looking at a high of 24 with a mix of sun and clouds.
Well, this week in Montreal, a competition of the best and the brightest. They all play violin, and they've come from around the world to make music. Here's Christine Long.
24 of the best violinists aged 17 to 31, hailing from 17 countries. The Concours Musical International de Montréal is one of the most prestigious competitions in the world, says artistic director Shira Gilbert.
We had applications from 250 violinists from 37 countries. We had an online jury that selected the 24.
One of those 24 is Lorenz Karl from Vienna, who plays a very rare instrument.
Quite a world sensation because the wood, the back of the violin consists of wood from New Zealand. It's called kauri wood, their national wood. And this one is supposed to be 30,000 to 50,000 years old.
A very promising talent from South Korea, Hyun Jae Lim, stopped playing after a car accident. She's back on the international stage after a 4-year recovery.
I actually had given up the violin because I never thought I could, play again. But then I think time also helped me, and a lot of encouragement from friends and mentors.
This competition is brisk. Over 1 week, each will play a recital, then 10 are selected for longer programs.
We get to meet them all and then see them launch into the world and pursue their careers.
Prizes and grants worth over $150,000 are available. Yet, Justin Saulnier isn't nervous.
The competition is very individual. I think everyone agrees and knows that it's all about the preparation, and then the prize is just the cherry on top.
During the grand finale, artists will join the Montreal Symphony Orchestra on stage.
Major works for violin and orchestra, always very exciting, passionate, virtuosic.
The public is invited to watch and listen to the performances at Bourgie Hall, downtown next to the Museum of Fine Arts, until June 4th.
You still need to play good violin.
Christine Long, CTV News.
Well, that will certainly lift the spirits, and that wraps it up for us tonight. For the latest news, you can listen to the Andrew Carter Morning Show at 5 on CJAD 800, and of course, you can always head to our website, ctvnewsmontreal.ca, for extended coverage. Thanks for staying up late with us. Have a good night. We're going to have another warm one tomorrow. We'll see you then. Take care.